Hello, welcome to How to Survive in a Bad Economy
with our host, Charlie Grant.
Speaker, trainer, and author.
Hello and welcome to another edition of How to Survive in a Bad Economy. I'm your host, Charlie Grant. Our goals are to share with you strategies, techniques, and tips on how to survive, thrive, but keep those dreams alive in these economic times. So America, we want to motivate you, we want to cultivate you, we want to stimulate you, but most of all, America, we want to educate you. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy our multi-segment show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's in every field and stream, and in everything between. It's in every hill and mountain, and all of our surroundings, and it feels so astounding, the one love that abounds us. So let's lift our voices and sing with the joy so resounding. Feel the oneness of our love, feel the oneness of our heart, feel the oneness in our souls. It's a wonder to behold. Feel the oneness of our light. Feel the oneness of our lives. Feel the oneness. Feel the oneness in our spirit. Don't be afraid to share in it. It's in everything we're given, and in every day we're living, and it feels so exciting to see how we're united. So let's lift our voices and sing with a joy so resounding. Feel the oneness of our love, feel the oneness of our hearts, feel the oneness in our souls. It's a wonder to behold. Feel the oneness of our light. Feel the oneness of our lives. Feel the oneness. It is time that we all unite and put all of our differences aside. When we feel the oneness inside, we will finally free our lives. So it's time that we accept how deeply we connected, and it's more than we expected, but it's at our very essence. So let's now time to reject the notion that we're separate, and lift our voices and sing with the joy so resounding. Feel the oneness of our love, feel the oneness of our heart, feel the oneness in our souls. It's a wonder to behold. Feel the oneness of our lives, feel the oneness of our lives. Feel the oneness.
Tell us some things about yourself, Doc.
Well, of course, I'm born and raised in the metropolitan area. I have a wonderful family.
God, of course, has rescued me more times than I care to mention. But you know, I'm personally am a business. I've heard you guys talk about multiple streams of income. So I'm a minister, an author, teacher, trainer. I'm certified in life insurance and annuities. Worked with Dr. Freeman with the Fellowship of International Churches and part of the wonderful economic empowerment team.
Oh, yes.
As well as the Family Empowerment Ministries located in Clinton, Maryland. So do a lot of things, but it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to serve in any area.
Great.
Yeah.
What a powerful
Yes,
guy.
sir.
So many
Yes, sir.
great things that you're doing, Doc.
Trying to do them all, man.
Well, great. Well, tell me, Doc, in an economy like this, a lack of financial knowledge, how can that impact a family if they don't have financial knowledge in economic times such as these?
Well, if I can use the scripture, Hosea 4:6 says that people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
That's right. That's right.
And then it goes on to say that not only are they destroyed for a lack of knowledge, but some people reject knowledge. So therefore, if you continue to go down the same road, just remember that ignorance of the law is no excuse.
You got that right.
You know, so if you continue to max out credit cards, continue to take payday loans, continue to live beyond your means, then you have to reap the fruits of what you've sown.
You got that right.
I heard a story on the news the other day about this young lady who got arrested in D.C. Driving a car. She's from Maryland.
Okay.
Well, you know, she was shocked and appalled that this would happen to her, only to find out that later on in the story, you know, keep in mind, knowledge is, everybody knows you have to have insurance, you have to have registration, you have to have a license, you have to have your tags current.
That's right.
Well, come to find out later, her tags had been expired for 3 months. So therefore, that's the lack of knowledge.
That's right.
So don't be surprised if you end up in jail
That's right.
because
That's right.
you failed to apply the knowledge, you know, that
right.
was available. And so there it is with our family. Without applying that knowledge, then therefore our children learn the same bad habits that we've learned. And so therefore, consequently, it continues to be a result of, you know, what they've come into.
That's right. That's right.
Dr. Cooper, what would you consider to be one of the biggest challenges in helping the people?
I think that question is the reason why I don't have a whole lot of friends. I know a whole lot of people, but very few that I call close friends, because one of my gifts and abilities is to help. And so since my heart gets involved in helping, my objective is to take them to the top. A lot of people just want to get by. So therefore, when I get involved with it, you know, I'm ready to go further, but they don't want to go that far. So therefore, it poses a problem in that area. The other thing is that I think a lot of people are afraid. And so if you are afraid to fail, then that also lets me know that you're also afraid to succeed. Because a lot of people that have succeeded have also failed multiple times.
That's right.
And sometimes it's in the very thing that they end up being successful in.
That's right.
So therefore, you have to kind of weigh those kind of things together and put a full picture around it to know that you're willing to help. You're willing to help, and show all of you are willing to help, but a person also has to want that help that's being offered and being available to them.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's great. So, Dr. Cooper, tell us, how did you get into writing books and teaching on family and finances?
Oh, well, probably unlike you guys, I didn't know I was going to be an author. I just love to write. It was my initial thing. But family and finances came on because God's first institution that it was established wasn't the church, it was family. The other thing I realized after studying is that there's only about 200 and something verses about faith and salvation, but there's over 2,000 verses about finance and stewardship.
Wow.
So once you become a Christian or born again or whatever you want to call it, that's pretty much settled. The rest of the time, you got to figure out how to operate in this world, you know? And the majority of our time is spent with family, and the other portion of it is trying to get paid, which is finances. So therefore, I figured that that's the, you know, the area that's been given to me, and so I spend a lot of time in those two particular areas.
Great.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell us, Dr. Cooper, what projects are you currently working on?
Well, I'm currently working on two books simultaneously. You know how sometimes they get on a runway.
Right.
Because one doesn't take off, doesn't mean the other one's not ready.
That's right, Doc. That's right.
So one is a follow-up to my Perils of a Silent Man book.
Okay.
But it deals with the other side of the missing or absentee fathers.
Okay.
And it's the importance of the role that they've abandoned.
Okay.
And how it can affect their children and for generations to come. The other one is dealing with like a financial mindset. And that book is really interesting. And one of the portions that I like about it is that I talk about a section of it is where I'm currently paying for my son's college tuition.
Right.
That's because I didn't prepare to be rich. So I must have been thinking I was going to always be poor. So as a result, you know, when you grow up, you think, okay, everything is a handout, is a give me. But one day you wake up and you're blessed, and you find out that you don't qualify for handouts anymore. So what do? So you have to recondition your mind to function in the level of where you are at this time. So those are the two books that I'm currently working on now.
Great, great.
Wow.
Yeah,
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, it's been good, man.
Doc, so tell us, Doc, how or what would be a great maybe strategy or a great financial move in economic times such as this?
Well, if you would have asked me that question in, let's say, 2003, 2004, I would have referred you to this guy for real estate, and which is still a very good good market, primarily if you are a buyer at this point, because there's a lot of excellent plans out there for a buyer, as well as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac has this making homes affordable plan that's available. So that's really a great tool that can be used. It'll be an excellent time to buy real estate as well. Phyllis and I also like to position ourselves, and that's another key thing. If you position yourself, and we I wouldn't say lost some money in real estate. Let's just say it has not materialized in the investment that we made hasn't come to fruition as of yet.
Gotcha.
But as long as you position yourself, save, get out of debt, make sure that you get wise counsel. There's a lot of things out there that are still available that can make you successful even in times like these.
Fantastic. And matter of fact, in economic times like these, I'm so grateful to you for one of your greatest books, A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback. When economic times got tough for me, I listened to that every day. And that was such a powerful, powerful tool to allow me to even think about developing a book, to develop a TV show such as this. So tell us, Willie, how does it feel to be ranked or to be awarded an award like award that a Nelson Mandela, Colin Powell, Margaret Thatcher? How does it feel?
It's an attitude of gratitude. Yes. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to do what I do. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to have an impact on people. And really, your impact it creates your income. And so the more impact you can have, whatever it is you do. And so when people are going through tough times, and I've had tough times, and many of the people who I've written about in the books have inspired me. I was a nightclub singer who got fired or replaced by a karaoke machine, broke, busted, and disgusted, and trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I started speaking to little kids about staying away from drugs and to making wise choices and pursuing academic excellence. And it was out of that the teachers would say, wow, that was incredible what you did with our kids. They sat and listened, they clapped. Can you come to our Teachers Association? And I said, well, I guess I could. And I'd go in and speak at the Teachers Association, and someone there would say, can you come to my church? And I go to their church, and someone in the congregation would say, can you come to my company? Wow. And it continued to grow. And then, as you know, Les Brown heard about the fact that I mixed music and motivation, and he invited me to be on tour with him and his wife at that time, Gladys Knight, which would allow me to get national exposure. Wow. And then I got a little radio show, and the radio show got popular and got syndicated, and now you can hear it in Washington on WHUR every day, which led to Channel 9 every day at 6:30 every morning and CBS television, and then XM radios on the weekend on Channel 169 on Saturdays from 2 to 4, and it just exploded. And then a book publisher heard about the radio show, listened in, and called and said, I love that message. Have you ever thought about writing a book? I said, no, I never thought about it. He said, let me make you an offer. I said, I just thought about it. So I'm saying to people who might have lost their homes, lost their jobs, lost their cars, lost their houses, lost their life savings, don't throw in the towel.
That's right. That's right.
Get a mindset that I'm going to grow my skill set. I'm going to grow. And I love what the gentleman said about the fact that it's about education and motivation. One without the other is incomplete.
That's right.
You know, to be a motivational speaker and just give a lot of rah-rah is fine, but it's incomplete.
Right.
You have to have motivation with practical steps, because people need to know how to get there.
Right.
And so what I've learned over the years is that we want to give them some motivation, some inspiration, some entertainment, and some education, and we'll start to transform their lives.
Right there, Willie. You just hit on something very essential. If you can share with the audience, what's the difference between inspiration and motivation?
Excellent question. Well, motivation deals with your head.
Okay.
That you get a motivational idea or motivational concept. But inspiration deals with your heart. It's that thing on the inside that's bigger and greater and stronger than the motivation. See, motivation will wear off, it'll go away, you'll get some other stimuli that will impact you. But we've seen stories of football players who one of the players goes down and we say, let's win one for my friend who went down. Or we find parents whose children are trapped in cars and somehow they find a way to get their children out. I've heard of mothers who have literally lift up the car to get their child out. It's inspired action. And when you get inspired, something happens. Inspiration is taken from the Greek word to breathe anew. And so when you get inspired, you breathe something into people. You breathe anew into them. So it's great to be motivated. But I am grateful that now they've called me one of the top inspirational speakers in the country because I want to inspire and pour into people and breathe anew into them.
Powerful, powerful.
Tell us, what strategies would you suggest to the audience for times such as these?
Well, in this book, I talk about the facts of the people I've interviewed on my XM show. Some of them were billionaires who started with nothing or who were bankrupt. Some of them had companies that went well and then lost everything, but it came back. And what were the strategies I've learned from all of these people, as well as the strategy I've learned in my life? There were 7 steps. I'll give them to you real quick. Number 1, don't panic. Listen what I say. Don't panic. Something happens in your life. Don't panic. One of my friends built $1 million company, multi-million-dollar company, worked for 25 years to build it. And then he had done what everybody told him to do. Invest and put the difference between where he was living. Live below your means and invest the difference. He invested it with a guy named Bernie Madoff. Lost everything.
Wow. Wow.
And when he learned the news, he wanted to end it all. But he thought about Willie Jolly, said, don't panic.
All right, all right.
And he said, I didn't panic.
Okay.
And I realized that in those 25 years, I just not made millions of dollars. I learned how to make millions of dollars.
Gotcha.
And the last 2.5 years, he's made back half of what he lost. So first, don't panic. Number 2, don't willingly participate nor commiserate. Don't buy into the gloom and doom. We hear all the bad news. Oh, it's a bad economy. It's a bad time to start a business. Well, 2 brothers in St. Louis, the Roberts brothers, they heard the same thing in St. Louis. Bad economy, bad economic times, but they didn't buy into the gloom and doom. And in the last 15 years, they've built $1 billion business. They own radio stations, TV stations, aircraft, they own hotels, they own theaters. All because they didn't buy into the gloom and doom.
Wow. That's one thing about network marketing. They got one of the best motivational and educational plans there are. I remember 4 great people helping me, Dr. James Boone, Dr. Harrison Ford, Ivy J. Stokes, and Damon Dynamite Moats. These 4 gentlemen impacted me and empowered me with knowledge that I didn't even learn in school. And it was all through my network marketing experience. And one of the, or I should say 4 of the most powerful principles, and some of them you shared earlier, Felicia, that network marketing, they share and afford you. Network marketing, number 1, they teach you about ownership. You must own something. The old adage, if you don't own nothing, you don't build nothing, you don't grow nothing, you don't develop nothing, don't create nothing, you won't have much of nothing. And network marketing teaches you how to have your name on. So what do you have your name on today, America? Is your name on that desk? Is your name on that office? They can easily slide that little, as you know, from off that office. So on paper, what is your name on? What do you own? So ownership, network marketing shares with you. Also, it shares with you asset leveraging. Being, like Cooper said earlier, other people. You want to be able to leverage other people's time, talent, skills, and resources. Also, network marketing helps you with, as Felicia said earlier, residual and royalty residual income. See, you want to be able to do something one time, but get paid for it over and over and over again. And as we know, she's with ACN, you must have a wonderful product, a wonderful product. ACN, one of the world's top, as we stated earlier, in communications. Anything else you'd like to say about product or service? Anything you'd like to share?
Well, I would like to say this. ACN is a little different from a lot of other companies. It's not so much product driven, it's service driven.
Oh, wow.
Because in this economy, our business, we have found that is recession proof. We're really experiencing record number growth in this economy, because you can pay your house off, you can pay your car off, but you'll never pay your cell phone off, you'll never pay your gas and electric off.
That's right.
You're never going to turn off your internet.
That's right.
Even people in the unemployment line are still using their cell phones.
So tell us, Ms. Jackson, what's going on in the network industry right now?
Right now?
Is that business growing?
Oh, absolutely, leaps and bounds. I think about 437,000 people are actually joining network marketing companies every single week. Wow. That's amazing.
Wow.
Like one of the panelists said, you know, it's a small startup on it. There's not much overhead.
Right.
You get the benefits, the tax benefits of owning your own business.
Okay.
And you can do it right from your own home.
Wow.
You can do it right from your own home.
A person as busy as you in the industry that you're in, how do you continue to move forward? How do you keep it going? How do you condition yourself?
You have to have balance in your life. Balance is very key. You have to set time aside for each and everything that's important for your worship, for your health, because you know you can work yourself into the ground, and if you don't take care of yourself, then you don't have your greatest wealth, which is your health. So you have to take time out to eat properly, get your rest, and I just say stay committed. You know, I'm focused and I know exactly what it is I want to do. So I have a vision in mind. I actually began this mission with a vision and the end in mind. So I see myself where I'm going to be, and that's where you have to start.
Powerful.
You have to start there.
Sexy.
Yeah. Doctor, you have done so many things. Every time I turn on the channel, Doc, I see you there. I look at CNN, wherever I look, Doc, I see you being interviewed. I see praises going up for the things that you're doing, not only for a lot of us, but for the young people and for so many people around the globe, Doc. You have really been blessed, Doc. So we thank you for being on this show, and love you to tell us some things about yourself, Doc.
Well, you know, I do all that, not for myself, but for young people. I live for young people.
Wow.
And what I'm doing now is very, very exciting. What I did this morning was very exciting. I talked to a group of youngsters, little youngsters, in elementary school about how to become entrepreneurs, how to start their own businesses.
Ooh.
So I work with them in any way that I can. And you know, Brother Grant, that I come from an humble beginning.
Okay.
Multiple streams of income was a thing for me.
Yes.
It was a thing for me.
Great.
And that's the reason I'm sitting here, and that's the reason you see me all over the world.
What are you doing right now with young people? I know what you did this morning, and I know what you did yesterday, but if you can tell our audience specifically, what is it that you're working on now with them?
Certainly. One of the things that I'm working on is trying to introduce them to eldership in a very, very positive way. And I'm doing it through evolutionary elders. What I'm finding is that many of our young people don't have older people in their lives.
That's true.
To teach them the tricks of the trade, so to speak.
Right.
So evolutionary elders is a newly formed concept.
Okay.
It's not a movement yet. It's a concept, but people are working. And we teach our young people to respect their elders, to learn from their elders, and to become positive in society. That's what we teach them. An evolutionary elder, we need more people to join us to do what we really want to do. You know, one of our themes is take back our children.
Yes.
Empower our parents.
Yes.
And anybody who wants to know about evolutionary elders, as Brother Grant said, it's all over the internet. All one would have to do is just go to Google and type in evolutionary elders, and you'll find out what it's all about and what it's doing.
Wow.